What's going on, everybody? Tukey here, back again, and it is that time of year. The NHL 23 reveal trailer has dropped, and in this video, we are going to take a look through it, and I can finally now talk about at least some of the things that I've been privy to over the past few months. Of course, thanks to my position with EA, and this video, of course, is brought to you by the EA Creator Network. I've had a little bit of insight onto what's going on, had to, be nice and quiet about it, as we always do, but we can finally talk about some of the things here and now. A reminder, of course, if you want to watch this trailer without me pausing over it and talking over it, you can do so. The link is in the description to watch the full trailer on your own. But with that said, first and foremost, most important thing to talk about, they announced it at the end, the release date for NHL 23, and we're gonna have to wait a little bit. It used to be the second Tuesday of September. No. We have to wait until October 14th. There is 3-day early access, of course, for the more expensive versions of the game, but October 14th, NHL 23 out worldwide. That is the big number, of course, the big date that everyone has been looking forward to. That aside, let's get into this. Let's get into watching this trailer now. I do like the whole thing of it being first person, even though there's no first person gameplay. That's kind of rough. Immediately with Mika Zibanejad, we get a look. First and foremost, again, as if it's first person. If only it was. But there is a push on Zibanejad, who stumbles, but still gets the shot off. And that is probably the biggest gameplay addition with NHL 23, and something I've personally been begging for, especially since I rediscovered NHL 2K10. You have the ability now to take, still take the shot, even if you get hit, to still make a pass, even if you get hit. There are stumbles in the game now. They call it last chance puck movement. I personally like it a lot. There are loose puck plays in general, as it is. Quote, turn any loose puck into an opportunity by double tapping pass or shoot to dive into incredible plays. So, again, puck is loose, double tap the pass deal, you'll essentially dive for it. Same thing with shooting. You want to go full Bobby Orr? Well, maybe don't go full Bobby Orr, but if you want to go Bobby Orr, Stanley Cup playoffs, at least you can do that. Should note as well, as always, they are touting new and improved goalie AI. Obviously, trailer footage. It is game engine footage as well. It's especially when they add offensive chances, goalies are always going to look terrible. For me, the jury's out when it comes to goaltenders. Essentially, they changed goalies over so that it is the human system that the goalies are now kind of influenced more by. So there's more of the saves that the human goalies had, but computer goalies didn't. Will it work out? Will it be nice? Are there still going to be cheese goals? We'll see what the hell happens, man. But whenever they talk about improvements to the AI, and especially to goaltenders, take it with a grain of salt, essentially, and don't be expecting the craziest changes in the world. Would be my go-to. Again, another big example of the stumble shot. Zegras getting hit as he tries to make the play. Not the prettiest hit detection, or that could look a little bit better. But still, the idea that he gets hit and still gets at least a backhand off towards goal is very, very nice. And then obviously that goes in. You hope to God that doesn't in the actual game, but for the trailer, it's okay. But yeah, looks pretty rough there, aside from that. But again, Zegras being the cover boy, I don't know if I have to mute this or not. I'm going to mute this part for the moment just because there is copyright in music. But again, the big backhand stumble shot from Zegras. They're nice. They are nice. It looks damn good. I got to be honest. It's a pretty damn cool addition to the game. I do like it quite a bit. See if I can unmute this now here. Yeah, let's keep it going. Again, I know a lot of people were kind of paused and be like, okay, who is that? Who is that type of thing. Now, big thing there as well. Hats are back. Hooray! I don't have a hat within reach, but hats are back, everybody, for hat tricks. One of the bigger things they added in terms of presentation. I know there's an article out, the most authentic and immersive NHL game ever. But of course, second year on Frostbite. Overtime winners, new celebrations for that. The hat trick celly, new shootout celebrations. The crowd in general is a lot more lively, especially for the Stanley Cup animation. They don't sit there like it's a goddamn library whenever you win the cup, which is pretty nice. Should be noted as well in terms of presentation. This is one of the images that we have to share here. Now, this is during the pregame in the playoffs, I do believe. And it's pretty damn sick, the idea of the light up thunder sticks. There's the on ice presentation as well. However, while these look fucking sick, they look so good, the intros are still very, very short and brief. And it's kind of a kick. My experience so far, you don't really even get that much time to really get all that immersed by these pre-game intros, unfortunately. They are amazing, but for me, you know, someone who grew up with some of those older hockey games, EA games included, where, okay, here's this fully in-depth presentation, here are the lineups, player intros, here's the anthem. I miss stuff like that. I get for a lot of people, that's just an insta-skip, let me get to the game, and that's perfectly fine. But for someone like me, I miss that stuff. It feels like maybe we're kind of getting back to that era. So, some steps forward, but still lacking a lot, in my opinion, in the presentation game. It is better, but at the same time, it's kind of that same argument that's always out there. It's like, okay, it's better, but we thought you'd be here, and you're only here. What's going on with that? Now, I will say it is pretty damn cool. Obviously, another big thing for them this year, the dual cover with Trevor Zegras and, of course, Sarah Nurse. Got to talk with Sarah a little bit. I did a charity stream with Lazarus Gaming, Lazarus Esports, with it's essentially a shootout tournament. She was involved. Steve Dangle was involved. We got to do that earlier this year. That was fun. She is very nice, and it's very cool that she became the first woman to be on the cover of NHL. Pretty damn cool. Ultimate Team. The big things for Ultimate Team this year, which I don't think will make a ton of people happy, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Maybe some of the limited things that were added. Two big things for Ultimate Team. Women are now in Ultimate Team. Whether it be, I mean, you see Hillary Knight there, of course, Sarah Nurse, obviously, Marie-Philippe Poulin. Women are involved in Ultimate Team outright and can be on your team. And they made a slight change there to Hut Rivals, where essentially there are themes to each Hut Rivals season to try and differentiate it from being the same damn thing week in and week out. Me, obviously, I think, you know, if people watch the most recent Hut series that we had up there, I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay. You know, again, the team for EA, they know this, despite our affiliation. You know, they know I don't like the gameplay for the most part. So Ultimate Team, Ishil, we'll see how much of that I even end up playing. But I do wonder how excited people who play Hut are going to be. But aside from that, the big thing is cross-plat. Cross-plat is in. The big thing for cross-plat, though, currently planned for November. So again, it would be a month or so after the game comes out. They are planning on finalizing that. Obviously, roster sharing last year came out in December, so I know some people will be disappointed, but if you think about it, for the first month of the game, it should not be difficult to get matches in Hut or Ishil or whatever. So by the time cross-plat kicks in, you should be okay and should be able to get consistent matches throughout the entire game's life cycle. So I think some people will see November and be rather upset about that. I don't really think it's anything to be upset over, personally. It is what it is. Cross-plat's in, it's going to keep the player base a little bit more lively. Desperately, desperately needed, and that is the reason why there wasn't so much added in Ultimate Team this year. The amount of resources that they had to put to get cross-plat in the game, and some people are going to be like, they didn't even get it in at launch, but I have been privy to visiting, you know, their offices. I got to go in April of 2019, and everything was kind of explained. Like, here is the dev schedule for these guys. So on one hand, I am critical about what's not in the game and what I think should be in the game. On the other hand, I am sympathetic in a sense because holy hell, if some people realize just how little of the amount of time that they have to actually make changes on a year-by-year basis. You know, I think I'm more critical of EA and 2K and anybody that really kind of forces the yearly release of a game because that is truly what's holding back sports gaming from going to the next level, and we all know it is the yearly release schedule. I think there are some very talented dev teams that are out there that are handcuffed a little bit. At the same time, some things could still be better, so it's a bit of a balancing act. And then, of course, there you see, again, they kind of spoiled it with the hut thing, but yes, cross-plat, of course, is in. Which, again, was very, very much needed. And I'm intrigued, obviously, not just for the everyday player that tries to do this, but what this could mean as well in a competitive league setting as well. You know, the esports side of things. A lot of you know I've been doing work with sportsgamer.gg for the past three and a half years now. At this point, been their main commentary guy for the top league there. Went to Finland in June, of course, to do a live event there, and I am really intrigued now because there shouldn't be a limitation in making sure that the best of the best, regardless of console, are able to play. So I'm pumped from that standpoint. It should only make the esports scene better. Now we have something coming up here in a minute, and here we go. With Trevor Zegras, of course, in his new number 11, not only, well done for Owe there, not only is the Michigan, of course, still in the game, they have added the Michigan puck flip. And again, the fake reactions, though, just, grinds my gears. Yeah, the Michigan puck flip over the back of the net is now in the game. Graded together, NHL 23. This October. October 14th, so there you go. In terms of anything else that I might have missed in terms of talking about, I think we got those main points. There is still the dual entitlement as well. If you, you know, have it on Xbox One, but then you upgrade to a Series X, you can transfer stuff over, which is pretty nice. But those are basically the main changes, aside from one thing, the best for last. Franchise mode, baby. Franchise mode. The biggest change this year for franchise, everybody, is that you are now allowed to customize the league. You can do whatever you want. The number of teams, the games played, divisions, conferences, playoff rounds, the salary cap. Pretty much anything you would want control over, aside from moving draft picks, pretty much anything you'd want control over is there and is in. Which, on one hand, is fantastic, and it kind of lines them up with what NBA 2K has had for a very long time now. On the other hand, I personally don't know how much I will get out of this. It does go hand in hand, and I heard this directly. The idea was it works so well with roster sharing, and that is true. If you have someone like Snipe and Score's flashback rosters, say a 2007 database, you can make sure that you don't need to have a filler team because, well, you need to have 32 teams. No, you can have the appropriate amount of teams in the league at that point. You could go back to 72 and, you know, you could go back to the original 6 if you wanted to and have that be a thing, which is awesome. That creates a whole lot of options, certainly. At the same time, I have not gotten confirmation as to whether or not roster sharing is cross-plat. I don't believe it's going to be. So that's still a gigantic hindrance. And NBA 2K's franchise mode just announced that they are having essentially 4 different ways to play it. Modern day, 2002, I think 91, and 1983. And if you go back to 1983, everything's accurate. The presentation's different, the roster's accurate, the future drafts and future changes to the league are all going to happen. NHL, you know, franchise mode with custom leagues, this is reaching a point where NBA 2K's been for over 5 years, I believe. So, is it a very nice change? Yes. How much am I personally going to use it? I don't know. It does make it certainly more possible and palatable to run one of those old flashback rosters, but at the same time, aside from maybe doing a modern-day franchise where I change the point structure so it's 3 points for a win, 2 for an overtime win or something like that, you know, aside from that, I'm still genuinely not sure just how much I'm going to get out of this. And from that early article that's been put out, of course, that I've been, you know, referencing here with the information that's out there, you know, in terms of Ishul, have there been major changes? Not that I'm aware of. Cross-plat's the big one. It's probably the biggest one. It's the same thing for Hut. That is the biggest change in the game. Franchise mode gets this, and it is a great change, but like I said, at the same time, I can't overhype it. It's exactly what it sounds like, and it's awesome for that reason, but my personal excitement level just isn't quite there when there are so many minor things that could be changed and honestly should be changed, I think, before focusing on the next greatest addition, so to speak. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, we get this, but still, some parts of the foundation are a little bit shaky. And I think you guys have heard me talk about that throughout NHL 22, and depending on how long you've been here for a very, very long time. Terms of Be a Pro, I don't know. I haven't heard much about Be a Pro, if I'm being honest. So, all in all, NHL 23, obviously more information is going to come out, and as that comes out, we will talk about it through these series of videos. NHL 23, I don't want to say indifferent, but I'm not incredibly excited, but I'm also not pessimistic and thinking like this game's going to be trash. It's going to be the worst game ever, and I can't wait for that to be clipped out of context. We'll see what happens. Cautious optimism. How many times have you heard me say that over the years? Let me know what you guys thought, what you might have caught in the trailer. If you have any questions, let me know as well. I will answer what I can based off of what I am allowed to say. But for now, that will do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Check out the second channel, of course. Links in the description. So many franchise modes there, including Madden series that are going around right now. All that fun stuff. I'll see you guys next time. NHL 23. It's going to be a video game.